Mind anyone shot?
Nope. You're good. Okay. You're good, Aaron. Yep.
Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for coming out this afternoon. I've been asked by Jackson County Coroner John David Jordan to read this statement in this release. This will be verbatim from the coroner's office. Let me say up front that we will not be giving any cause of death. Okay, that is up to the coroner's office to release, and I have not been approved, or I've asked not to mention cause of death. This is from the office of Jackson County Coroner John David Jordan. Our hearts and prayers are with the families of the victims. They are Grace Annette Watson Miles, age 40, Christopher Zane Long, age 19, Briley Aniston Long, age 16, Traden Dominic Miles, age 10, Keston Damian Miles, age 9, Desley Nicole Miles, age 7. They're all from the same family. The other two victims are Amanda Foster, age 38, and Yancey Farrell Roper, age 54. The cause of death will not be released. Our office would like to thank all agencies involved in this difficult situation and would like to join our community and beyond in extending our sincerest condolences. End of statement.
How were you all able to identify them?
I don't know. That would be between the coroner and the forensic folks.
Could you maybe spell some of their names?
Sure can. Which one do you need?
If you can just maybe
All of them?
spell them all, just
Okay.
so that we know we got them right, that'd be perfect.
Okay. Grace Annette Watson Miles, that one's pretty straightforward. Christopher Zane Long, that's Christopher with a C.
Z-A-N.
Z-A-N-E. Briley, B-R-Y-L-I. Aniston Long. Traden, T-R-A-Y-D-E-N. Dominic, D-O-M-I-N-I-C, Miles. Keston, K-E-S-S-T-O-N. Damian, common spelling, Miles. Desley, D-E-Z-L-I, Nicole Miles. Amanda Foster, that's pretty straightforward. Yancey, Y-A-N-C-E-Y, Farrell, F-E-R-R-E-L-L, Roper.
Do you know where they're from?
I do not.
Is there any chance you could email that statement maybe to our newsroom? Would that be
There's, I would have to clear that with the coroner, but if I could clear that with him, sure, I'd be glad to.
Did you say Desley's middle name?
Sure. Nicole
Desley Nicole Miles.
Miles.
The last two victims that you read that are not a part of the
Family.
original family, were those two people related?
Not to my knowledge. To my knowledge, this is two separate individuals and then the family.
So 3 different boats that they were on.
I can't verify that it was 3 different boats. That would be an assumption that I wouldn't want to make right now.
Do you all know how many other people are displaced?
I don't have a hard count on that right now. I'll be glad to get that and get back with you.
Okay. And so, where are you guys with the recovery efforts right now, and what's going on?
Right now, we're trying to recover a boat which is of interest as far as the origin of the fire. And when that boat is recovered, then salvage operations will speed up.
Can you describe that boat, the size, anything you know about it?
It's a 40 to 45 foot boat, and there are a couple that match those descriptions that floated out into the lake and sank. So they're having to send down divers to try to identify which boat of interest that is, and then we'll remove that one first.
Is there a reason why the fire chief said yesterday you already recovered that boat?
We thought that was the boat, and then after further examination with ATF, they discovered that was not the boat.
How many boats have you guys pulled out so far out of this water?
The boats that sank, none, except for the one. There were several boats that burned down to the water line that still floated. Those were removed early Monday. I think there may have been 5.
On this one boat, do you suspect there's any bodies on there?
No, we don't suspect there is, no. We expect that we have recovered every one that we need to recover.
Do you guys know if there were fire extinguishers on that dock and if they were working?
Yes, they were. They had just been serviced back in October.
What about the electrical? Do you happen to know about those? The wiring?
It's the dock's wired for electricity. That's about all I can tell you.
And they also had alarms. Did they have alarms on the boat too?
I can't speak to that. I don't know.
Who regulates safety on the boat? Safety rules or regulations?
As far as the boats individually, that would, as far as I know, that would be the United States Coast Guard.
What about this dock? Is there anyone who oversees the safety regulations that people have to follow?
Sure, the park management does that, yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you guys have any information on the circumstances of the deaths?
Such as?
Not the cause of death, but what led up to that moment?
No, do not.
We talked to some people the other day who told us that they jumped onto a different boat because they couldn't get their boat untied. Do you guys know if a lot of these boats out here worked, or if they just lived on the boats but they weren't actually operable?
No, I do not know that.
Do you know how many were houseboats? Or
A majority of those were large boats. I know there were some that were pontoon type, but out of 35 boats, as far as houseboats or cabin cruisers, I can't tell you how many.
Are you aware of any missing people at this time?
No.
So our search team is still out looking for any potential unaccounted people?
As the salvage goes along, they will, of course, they're salvaging slowly. We're in no hurry. And if they run across anything unexpectedly that we need to pay attention to, then at that point, that's when we will revert back to a different mode.
How much longer do you think you guys will be trying to salvage these boats? Will you pull all of them out that sunk?
Yes, weeks. Weeks.
and what is the blue item in the water?
The blue item?
Yes.
That is absorbent boom. That is basically to absorb chemicals and petroleum and oil that came from the boats. That's part of the environmental cleanup.
Do you know how much it has absorbed so far?
I do not.
Are there any details that you've learned from witnesses so far that you haven't shared with us in terms of, you know, what moments leading up to the fire or anything like that?
I haven't spoken with any witnesses. That would be a law enforcement function, and the state fire marshal, ATF, NTSB, Coast Guard. They would have been the ones to have spoken to witnesses.
Thank you.
You said there was one boat that was being investigated, and did nothing come of that? Or did you say that was the one that was still...
That was the one that we're trying to raise first, and that boat has to be identified prior to, of course, raising it from the lake.
In a situation where there's just so many children involved, does it hit y'all a little harder when you guys are, you know, investigating this? I would assume a lot of you guys are parents.
Sure it does. Absolutely. You know, a lot of our firefighters and our first responders who were here early Monday morning, this is going to be one of those things that they carry with them the rest of their life. So absolutely, when children are involved, that magnifies what you feel. Okay?
Do you know of any funeral arrangements or anything?
I do not. Sure don't.
I know you say it could take weeks before you know, with recovery. I know that earlier you guys said Friday you were hoping to maybe have everything cleaned up, or do you know how long you'll be out?
I think we were being hopeful. Of course, the salvage has slowed down now because of this one boat that we would like to find. As soon as that boat's found, the pace will speed up some, but it's, at best, it's going to be weeks. There's a lot of debris out there. It has to be removed in a certain way, and of course, the environment has to be a factor in that too.
How does that process work? I mean, we're talking about lots of burned boats. So I guess how do you guys determine when you get to one of them if it's the boat, if it's not the boat, if you should remove it yet or not?
They actually put divers in the water, and if there's enough of the boat left to identify, you know, you have to understand that most of these boats, the reason they sank is because they burned all the way down to the water line. And once they get to the water line and water gets inside the hull, then the rest of that boat's going to the bottom. So a lot of these boats, there's not a whole lot left.
So I'm guessing all these boats were registered. So you guys know what registration number you're hopefully
Sure.
looking for if it wasn't burned.
Sure. And by physical characteristics. And you know, there was one boat out there that still had the stern plate on it, and the name of the boat was visible. But you have to put divers in the water to find that out.
Are these local divers, or are we still pulling divers from
No, these are
there?
Towboat US divers. Yeah, these are the salvage company divers. Anything else? Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.